Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ghost of Sparta, and I'm here with another fantastic deck profile for you guys. I'm normally known for doing unboxings and action figure reviews, but I'm also doing something a little bit different. I've done Yu-Gi-Oh content on my channel, and I just like to give out information and get you guys in on a little bit more of the hobbies that I'm in. So we're going to take a look at my deck profile. Now, this is probably as competitive of a Dark Magician deck as that I can get it. I'm pretty sure everybody out there might say otherwise, especially LOZA out there, but I want to give a big shout out to him and also Dark Magical Gaming, because they're the ones that kind of gave me a lot of theory. So with all that being said, let's get into this deck profile. So now that we're getting into this deck profile, I'm going to kind of do it a little bit different. I know a lot of people do like monsters, spell, traps. I'm kind of going to do it in a way to kind of help new players out there kind of understand the game a little bit, give a little bit of description of the cards, and understand how to classify your cards when you're deck building. So I'm hoping this works out, and I'm hoping you guys get some information from it and you get some knowledge from it. And if you do, please feel free to leave me a like and a comment, and also make sure to subscribe. So let's get to this deck profile. Obviously, we got to play our bricks, which is 2 Dark Magician, and then we also play our Red Eyes. So nothing new in that. We're only playing 2 at the moment. I was almost convinced to play 1 at one point, but then when I was testing it out and that Dark Magician ended up getting banished for something, I knew we have to play at least 2. But these are the cards that don't do anything by themselves. They require 2 tributes, and they're not going to be able to do anything. If you were to draw that card and that was the next draw in your hand, you had no cards in your hand, you can't do anything with these cards by themselves. So now we're going to look at the starter cards for my deck. And so we're going to play 2 Illusion of Chaos. The reason why I say this is a starter card is because if you were to get it, it can actually do something. It could do something by itself. This is kind of like a rota for the deck, because it gets you any pretty much any spellcaster that has Dark Magician in its text. It's a monster that's a non-ritual monster, so it can't get itself, unfortunately, because would it make any sense to get itself? So, and also it couldn't get the Dark Magician of Chaos, that other ritual that we can't get that one because it has Dark Magician's text, but it says a non-ritual monster, which is kind of the messed up part. That would have been great if we could get that card. So we got 2 Illusion of Chaos. Starter is Magician's Rod. We play 2 of those. Magician's Rod is an awesome card. It's the main rota of the deck, the original rota of the deck. This allows us to get any spell or trap that lists Dark Magician and add it to hand. It's an unsummon effect, so once it's summoned, you're able to activate it. And the other effect of this guy, which everybody uses, is the recursion effect when it's in the graveyard. If you were to activate a spell or trap or an effect on your opponent's turn, you're able to tribute a spellcaster on field and then add him to your hand. So tribute as cost and then add him to hand. So this is really good. That's what pretty much keeps you with your recursion, keeps you with your hand strength, so that way you know what's going on, or so that way you can still be able to play. Obviously, our next card, which is a 3 of Magician Souls, one of the most expensive cards out there, which is an awesome card. It's pretty much a foolish burial. You basically send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster to the graveyard to be able to activate 1 or 2 of effects. 1 is to special summon the card itself, or 2 is to send it to the graveyard and special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. Now his on-field effect, when he's on field, you can send up to 2 spell or trap cards from field or hand, and then be able to draw up to 2 cards depending on how many spells or traps you sent. The max is 2. So this is a good card. This is a card that gets you all your combos. It's a free summon pretty much, because you want to get those bricks out of the graveyard, like bricks into the graveyard from your deck, which is like Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl, you know, whatever level 6 or higher spellcaster monsters that don't do anything, you want those in the graveyard. And 9 times out of 10, it's either DMG or Dark Magician Girl or some other tech that I'm going to show you right now. So well, I'll show you in a bit. So here we go, some other starters. Obviously, I can't stress enough of this card, Red Eyes Fusion. Ref is probably the best card out there. It does everything we need. It pulls the bricks out of our deck and lets us fusion summon our boss monster. I play 3. 3 helped me win so many games. I played against Phantom Knights on Thursday, and this card came in clutch every single time because they didn't have the Ash. He did negate one of them with an effect. He negated the activation of my card. I think it was Solemn Judgment, and I was able to activate my second copy right after that, due to the fact that it negated the activation and I wasn't pinned to the fact that I couldn't summon anything. I wasn't restricted. So Ref is such a good card. Playing it at 3 is where you need to play it until something else comes up that just makes us not need to play it at 3. But this card is really good. The next starter we have, Preparation of Rites. This gets us to our Rhoda. This gets us to Illusion of Chaos. So you play that. And the way I built this deck, to be honest, to make it able to run, is I built this deck to be able to make my opponent use up as much of their negates, as much of their hand advantage, as much of anything that they have to be able to keep playing. I wanted them to try to ash me. I wanted them to Veiler me. I wanted them to get as much as I can, so that way when they're all out of negates or out of any kind of interruptions, I'm able to play. So we have Preparation Rites, really good card, lets you search Illusion of Chaos. And then we have the Striker package. I'm thinking about cutting Engaged because, you know, if you pull this, if you draw this in your hand, Engage is a dead card, a dead draw on the deck, but then it could be for discard fodder for Souls or discard fodder for Dragoon. But this is coming clutch for me many times because most opponents won't ash this. They'll try to like Veiler, or they'll try to imperm Kagari because you're going to end up getting drones, and they're kind of starting to realize that we're using this to be able to get Anaconda out. So the Striker package is really good. It's something that you should try and test out because you special summon, you get to Anaconda, get to our boss monster without even using up your normal summon. So because of the extenders, I know some of the cards that I said that were starter cards can also be classified as extenders, but these are the two that I know for a fact are extenders, and then we're going to go into the engine cards. So I play Palladium Oracle Mana, and that's due to LOZA. LOZA he's been preaching, he's been on a soapbox preaching constantly about Oracle or Palladium Oracle Mana. I keep trying to say Mahad, but it's Mana. Palladium Oracle Mana. He's been preaching on his soapbox constantly. I've watched his videos, I've texted him a couple times, and this card, after getting rid of DMG, has been the best card in my deck. This card literally gets the MVP of my deck. Now, if you don't know what this card does, this card basically tells you that whenever a spellcaster is targeted, only targeted that one spellcaster, you could special summon her from your graveyard or from your hand. And then obviously if she dies, you can also special summon Dark Magician Girl. But the main thing is her extension power. Because I've done it where I've used Magician Souls, and when they try to, not ash me, but when they try to imper me, I right away, you can chain this. So I don't get the draw, so what? But I already got Anaconda, and I know for a fact they don't have another imperm. They might have Veiler, but I know, you know, depending on how the match is going, you're gonna kind of dictate what you're gonna do. But I'm more safe of going to Anaconda, and I know Dragoon is gonna be coming out. I hope I'm describing this as best I can. If I am, please hit that like button, and also make sure to leave a comment. But this card is seriously an MVP. Obviously, another extender is Apprentice Illusion Magician. She's really good when you get Forbidden Droplet on your Dragoon. You can pump them up because they're gonna attack them. They're gonna try to beat over them. They want to do that. They want to basically hurt you in your pride to beat over your Dragoon. So having her in hand is great, and it's great for her effect. She has an effect to summon herself that doesn't cause a chain. You just discard and summon her. Then she has an on summon effect that triggers, that lets you search a Dark Magician monster to your hand. Crazy enough, people have ashed that, people have impermed that, and it helps me continue my plays. So with that being said, we're gonna jump right into what I call engine, or some draw power cards. These are cards that we kind of use for Dark Magician to get everything going, or not necessarily get going, but it's just cards that help us recur good hand advantage. So obviously, you know, Upstart Goblin, a 40 card deck with Upstart Goblin is freaking awesome. I mean, no one's ever ashed this. Some people have, but when I play it, no one does. You get the top deck, and it works really well with another card, which I'll go over in a little bit. But we have Upstart Goblin. Then we play the one Magical Eyes Fusion, which is great. It's helped me get out Quintet. It's helped me make 2 Dragoons. It's helped me make the Dark Magicians. This card comes in clutch so many times for me, and as crazy as it comes in clutch for me in my hand, it doesn't come clutch from Anaconda, but it comes from clutch from it being in my hand. So we have that. We also have Magician's Salvation, which is the field spell. I'm thinking about cutting this, but it's really good because you can send it off souls once you set Magician Eternal Soul. But its effect lets you basically float Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, depending on which one is summoned. And it also lets you set Eternal Soul from deck. It is missing one great effect if it'll let us use Eternal Soul when it's set. But since I play mana, I can't use the float effect because mana is not part of the effect in this. So I'm thinking about cutting it, maybe adding something else, but I'm not too sure just yet. Obviously, one of the better cards in the deck that helps us draw, we play 3 Soul Servant. This card lets you stack any monster or spell that lists Dark Magician in its text. Obviously, you can't stack itself. And then it has a graveyard effect, is you get a draw depending on not about how many Dark Magicians, but basically how many of a Dark Magician Girl, Palladium mana monster you have in your graveyard. So if you have DM, you get 1 draw. You have DM and DMG, you get 2 draws. You got DMG, DM, and mana, you get 3 draws. You got Mahad, you get 4 draws. So that's how this card works. Mainly, it's a Pot of Greed card. You're gonna use it for that effect and that effect only, due to the fact that it's going to draw you to probably a good 85% of the time, because you're going to have both either mana or DMG in the grave due to souls. And then once you activate Anaconda's effect, it's going to dump Dark Magician. And I usually use this card to ditch for Apprentice Illusion Magician, or I use it to ditch for Dragoon's negate effect, so that way I can draw 2 cards right after it. So it's pretty much like a free negate when it comes to using it. Next, we use Secrets of Dark Magic. It's a 1-of that we play, and this card comes in clutch. It's good to OTK because you're able, if you get enough monsters on the board, then you can just flip this, make Dark Magicians, and then finish them. Or I've made Dragoon with this card. You know, there's so many plays you can make with this card. Plus, you can also summon Illusion of Chaos, which has a float effect to let you bring a Dark Magician when it's destroyed or negate an effect. I know this is not the best fusion spell that we could have got for Dark Magician, but it's something that we could use, and it's in the deck. Now, I only play 1 Dark Magical Circle. A lot of people are out there playing 3. I think I saw Team Samurai's video that LOZA put up where he's talking about that Dark Magical Circle is the best card in the deck, or best card for Dark Magician. We can all argue that it's Illusion of Chaos or, you know, Magician Souls. And so him saying that, it's not wrong. I mean, he might just say that. I mean, he does his content based on trying to get views and everything, which is great. There's nothing wrong about that. I'm not making fun of, you know, Team Samurai. I've seen his deck profiles. I usually just watch the first couple minutes of it due to the fact to see how competitive he's playing it. And if you're playing 3 Dark Magician, 3 Dark Magical Circles, and 3 Eternal Soul, you're not trying to play competitive enough. So, yeah, there's not much I could say about that. I understand everybody has their opinion. So, you know, Team Samurai, I'm sorry, but you need to kind of do a little bit more research. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but yeah, it's not correct in this current format and for this deck. And last but not least, for our cards, we play 1 Eternal Soul. That's all I've been playing is 1 Eternal Soul. You're probably asking yourself, why am I playing 1? It's due to the fact of Soul Servant. I could stack this from the graveyard. I could stack this from my hand. I could stack this from the deck. It doesn't matter if the opponent gets rid of this with MST or gets rid of it with some other way and it goes to the graveyard. I could just stack it back on the deck and it's no big deal. So that's why it's not too much of a problem doing it that way and playing 1, because we have so many ways of being able to get it back into our hand. So that leaves us with the defense monsters, which we'll go over right now. Well, this is what I play in the main deck, is 2 Nibiru. I mean, can't go wrong with Nibiru, the Primal Being. It's a great card for a lot of decks out there that just basically spam monsters. You wait till you just count to 5 and then boom, you activate Nibiru before they can get something that can negate it. So I've used Nibiru a lot. Obviously, we can't forget we play 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs, and the ratios I'm using for all these is pretty much the OCG, which is pretty much 2 ofs. So Ash obviously stops anything that searches the deck, specials from the deck. You know, those are the things that you want to prevent your opponent from doing. And then we play 2 Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell has come in clutch when it comes to dealing with DPE. DPE is annoying because it forces interactions. It forces you to think, because they're going to get rid of a card. So if you only have a play where you have to summon just 1 card and you're hoping that goes through, they're going to use DPE to be able to negate it or to destroy it, so that way you can't continue your play. So using this to get rid of it is freaking awesome. Next, we have 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is your best defense to to be able to get rid of the Brave Engine. As soon as they activate that continuous spell card to be able to search after they activate it the first time, just to activate it, this card will get rid of it, and it stops the Brave Engine in their tracks. Because it's only one-ofs. They only play 5 cards, and it's pretty much the equip spell, the searcher spell, the 2 monsters, and the continuous spell. So that's what they need to be able to go off. And obviously Griffin, so it's 6 cards, I'm sorry. So this card is coming clutch. This card's even helped me with DPE as well. If DPE is the only monster on their field, you use this, pretty much get done. You know, their DP is not coming back. So that's pretty good. And then last but not least, we play 3 Infinite Impermanence. It's a great card, negates effects, and, you know, stops their opponent in their tracks sometimes. Play it from the hand. You can play it on the field. It blocks a zone that you played it on, and everybody puts it in the middle zone because that's where everybody likes to play their cards. So 3 Impermanence, you can't go wrong with it. It's just a great card to have, and that's why it's so expensive, and it's just a good defensive card to have. I know you're asking like, whoa, there's no skill drain or anything like that. We'll go over the side deck in a little bit. We're gonna go next into the extra deck, but let me know what you guys are thinking so far of this deck profile, and kind of like the comments I mentioned about Team Samurai. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button if you've learned anything, or if I give enough knowledge, or if I'm giving you enough tips and tricks to be able to progress with the Dark Magician profile. I know a lot of, you know, duelists out there and a lot of Yu-Gi tubers that do these, you know, they try to give you as much they give you as little information as they can, and they kind of just run through it. But I'm trying to give you guys the knowledge because I love this game, and I'm pretty sure you're watching this because you love this game. So I want you guys to kind of feel that, and I hope it's transcending through my deck profile, and you guys can kind of feel that. So let's go over to the extra deck. So now we have the extra deck. This is what we play. We play 2 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Obviously, this is our boss monster. It's the monster that should never have been banned in the OCG. This is the card that gets us to, that pretty much saves us and has the best effects. I mean, pop 2 and take damage, and then attack, and then also get an Omni Negate. You can't go wrong with that. Dragoon is the card that you want to make off of any fusion spells and with Anaconda. Next, we play the Dark Magicians. Obviously, it's a great card, lets you draw, and also has a float effect. We don't use, with my profile, you can't use the float effect. If you're willing to use DMG, then you'll have the float effect. Next we play is Quintet Magician. I have to be honest, I might take this card out. I don't summon it as much. It's only helped me maybe once or twice in a couple of random duels, but I need something a little bit better. I think with Branded coming out, I might switch it up for some cards with Super Poly, because Super Poly is going to be really big in this new format. But yeah, Quintet Magician might be sided out. All right, now we're going to my links. Link Rebo. Once again, LOZA has made so many good points, and I think also Dark Magical Gaming has also made so many good points. This card is so good with Magician Souls. You have, if you summon this off of the Striker package, or you use Magician Souls effect, or somehow you use this card at one point in time, and then you try to use Magician Souls effect, and then they try to Imperm or Veiler you can tag it out, so that way you can still get your draw, and you still have a body on board to be able to get into Anaconda. So this is a really good card, and I use it for the Striker package, or whenever I need a tag out. Next card I use that pretty much uses Magician Souls as its, front runner is Relinquish Anima. When I was playing on my duels recently, this card pretty much stopped the Brave Engine for me. The opponent ended up putting their Griffin right next to the extra monster zone, so I made Magician Souls, went into Relinquish Anima, activated the effect to take it. He activated the effect to basically negate and destroy it, so that was a good thing for me, because I was able to play and make Dragoon after that, and I ended up actually winning that match at that point. We play the one of Imduct, the World Chalice Dragon. Great card, great effect. When something's in the extra monster zone that it points to, it automatically destroys it. So there's no need for battle or damage calculation. It's just activate effect destroy, just because it's pointing at it. So obviously we use this for making Dragoons with Secrets of Dark Magic or Magicalized Fusion. And then obviously for the Striker package, we play Kaina and Kagari to target drones, and then Kaina to kind of help us stop a card from attacking, and then gain that extra 100 life points, also because of the downward arrow that we need from the Striker package. Now here we go, we're gonna play Artemis. Now LOZA, I still need some more information on Artemis. I know it's great with Raw for recursions, but I think we have enough where we might not need Artemis anymore. But I still play her. she's helped out a lot. She does help out with her cursory rod, because I've been in situations where I just had rod, soul servant, and then I would just activate rod, grab something, set soul servant, tribute rod to link summon into her, and then on my opponent's turn activate soul servant, stack, and then use rod's effect to tribute her and then add rod back to hand. And then we have the dark charmer. He's on one of our League 2. This guy comes in clutch so much. I've stolen so many people's DPEs and then linked it off to something else, or I've stolen people's dragoons. This card is awesome. If you haven't put this in your deck, try to make room for it in your extra deck, because this card's effect is really good. And then obviously we play 2 Predaplant Anaconda Verte Anaconda, so we have to play 2. I always play 2. Some people play 1, but I think playing 2 is awesome, because if someone were to solemn this card, or if they were to negate the effect where it negates the activation, you can always go into a second one and then continue on from there. We have enough extenders and plays to be able to do that. Obviously we play the 1 Celine. If you guys don't know, her effect is a quick effect to use the counters, so that way you can revive your dragoon or revive so you could use her effect. It's a quick effect on your opponent's turn, so you can revive your dragoon and have your negate ready to go. I haven't used that effect really, because I usually go straight into Axis Kotager to swing, but just to give you the information, you can end on this and just pass on your opponent's turn. They might think, what? Standby phase, activate effect, summon dragoon, and then you have an omni negate plus whatever else you might have on the field. And then last but not least, we play Axis Kotager, one of the greatest cards, one of the greatest Link 4s, and it does a lot. Obviously you pop for how many different attributes that are Link monsters are in there, and then it gains 1,000 attack for the Link monster, the highest Link number that was used as material. So I definitely use that. This deck is pretty expensive, but I've been picking up little pieces at a time, and that's how I was able to build it. If you guys so there you have it, guys. That is my deck profile. I'm really hoping that everybody was able to get some good information from this, and they were able to get all the answers they needed and kind of another perspective on how the deck is supposed to be run. I want to do some test hands for you guys. I'll definitely do that if this video can get 100 likes. I would really appreciate it, and I will do some test hands and go over theory and go over combos and things that I do and when I play against other opponents, and hopefully that gives you a spark of ideas, so that way you can kind of figure out ways to play against your opponent and be able to stop them or negate them or counter them. So if you guys really want those test hands, we can go over it together. And just like I said, all you gotta do is get this video to 100 likes. Shouldn't be too hard. Also want to give a shout out to LOZA. He's a really good guy. Thanks to all of his information. The fact that he told me to play mana is probably the best information that I could have ever done. Playing mana is so awesome. I mean, this card, I don't think I'll ever go back to DMG until they give us a DMG that's just as good as mana, or they give us something that we don't need to play DMG and we don't need to play a vanilla Dark Magician. So I'm playing mana going forward until something else comes out better, because this card is just such a good extender. Thank you, LOZA, for that. I just can't wait to see you roast this video, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some notes on it. I'm pretty sure I classified some things wrong, but I'm hoping that this video was able to be knowledgeable for other players out there, for newer duelists. All I can say is, like, for the Yugi tubers like Team Sam and all them, I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but if you want a true Dark Magician deck profile, don't listen to the ones that say play 3 Dark Magician, play 3 Dark Magical Circle, and play 3 Eternal Soul. Just don't even waste your time with any of those deck profiles, because those aren't going to give you a competitive edge, in my opinion. So I mean, I'm just giving some little criticism. It's positive criticism. It's just something just to kind of look out for and not to waste your time with, because those cards need to be played at smaller ratios to be able to put in more things to help you get card advantage, or help you get more advantage in the game state and be able to get you to your end board. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.